Hi, my name is Noelle Haney. I'm 25 years old and I'm single. So the thing is that singleness doesn't define me, but it took me a really long time to figure that out. I would like to tell you why Jesus is better than finding a boyfriend. For all of you that are out there like, I'm a guy, I don't have to listen. Well, you're wrong, because I'm also talking about why Jesus is better than finding a girlfriend. It's just that it's not applicable to me. Okay, so put yourselves in my shoes for a little bit. I was here at Faith. I went through this youth group. I thought I had it all together. But remember that I still have these struggles, and I know that a lot of you have these struggles. Starting off with kindergarten, my mom likes to tell the story about when I came home my first day of school and I said, Mom, I don't know who I'm going to marry, Brandon or Jonathan. And I just had my heart set on marrying one of the two. And then fast forward to second grade when I was in the school play under my dad's direction. And I was convinced that my older brother in the play was my one true love. I mean, really, you could go grade by grade by grade and go all the way up through high school, and I could tell you about all the guys that I had crushes on and really how I was just obsessed. Even though people maybe didn't know it on the outside, I knew my heart. Going into college, I had a lot of false assumptions and expectations because my parents met in college, my older brothers met their wives in college, I had a roommate who met her husband in college. Everyone meets their future spouse in college, it seems like, and so I just assumed that it would be the same for me, and that's really part of my focus of going into college was thinking, hey, I'm going to meet my future spouse. But I didn't, obviously. And I think for me that was really hard to grapple with. And really my whole life thinking about finding a boyfriend was just so important to me. But here's the thing. My identity isn't found in my relationship status. And it's taken me a long time to figure that out. But now that I finally have it, I'm passionate about talking about that with others because I know it's something that a lot of teenagers really struggle with. So I have a couple things that I want to challenge you with. First of all, don't make assumptions that you're prepared and that you're ready and that you can handle whatever your identity issues are going to be, because that might not be true. It's important to prepare your heart because there's going to be a lot of battles between your head and your heart. See, in my head, I knew that I was enough and that I didn't need a guy to tell me that I was prettier. I didn't need a boyfriend to make me have worth. But in my heart, I felt differently. And I had all these questions like, why doesn't anyone love me? Or am I not good enough? But honestly, it was more than that. I mean, I needed to recognize that my identity should be found in Christ. So I would challenge you to think about where your identity is found. Maybe it's not in this exact issue, but you need to realize that Jesus is better than whatever that is. I think it's important, even if you're in junior high, to start thinking about this now because you will struggle with it, and ultimately it's just a waste of time. I think another thing that I've learned is that I'm not now as a 25-year-old and single just in some waiting stage. It's important to realize that every phase of life is just as valuable as another, and God can use me the way I am. Just because I'm out of college and I'm not married, that doesn't mean that God can't use me. Sometimes it's about learning to roll with the punches. So all my students always ask me, are you dating anyone? Or did you get married this weekend? It's actually kind of obnoxious. And I like to play around with them. And one time I actually posted an Instagram picture with my friend's engagement ring on my finger, and it was funny. But really, you learn that it's not about those things. So Tori told me once, hey, if you keep on having all these kids ask you about why you're still single, just tell them that your uncle, Pastor Johnny, just keeps on beating all the guys up. So I think also ultimately you learn to focus on what's important, and you know that Jesus is better than finding a boyfriend, or Jesus is better than having this relationship, so it doesn't matter what your relationship status is right now. And for me, being in this place where I am right now, where my relationship with Christ is better than it's ever been, it's cool because I get to live in light of eternity, and I realize that God is using me how I am and in the place that I am with my current relationship status, which is single, and that's not a big deal. And so I would encourage you guys to remember that Jesus is better than finding a boyfriend.